I wanted you to be my mate because, said the alien girl, and in that moment, the whole beginning, the mining colony on Kepler. 442b was not the kind of place people wrote songs about. The sky was always dim, filtered through heavy clouds that glowed with the orange light of the distant red sun. Dust storms swept across the barren flats, and the settlement itself was little more than a collection of domed habitats strung together by tunnels of pressurized plastic. I'd been working there for 3 years, running repairs on the atmospheric stabilizers. It was dull, repetitive work, the kind that made a man think too much when he was alone. I had volunteered for it after the war, because it was far away from Earth, far away from everything I had lost. The colony was tense those days. Rumors spread about sightings of the others, the alien race that had once fought humans to a standstill in the Orion campaign. Official reports insisted there was no chance of them reaching this sector. But the old soldiers, like me, knew better. It was on one of those long, routine maintenance trips outside the colony perimeter that I first saw her. At first, I thought she was a hallucination, some trick of fatigue in the swirling storm. A tall, live figure with luminous skin patterned like moonlight through water. Her hair, if you could call the streaming, glowing filaments hair, drifted around her as though she stood in a gentle current. Her eyes were enormous radiant gold, and when they fixed on me, I felt as though my mind had been pierced through. "You're real," I whispered into the calm, though no one could hear me but myself. Her voice answered directly inside my thoughts. "Yes, human, real and waiting." Then she vanished, dissolving into the storm. I returned to the colony shaken, unable to explain what I had seen. But I knew she wasn't a ghost. She was one of them. Over the next weeks, the sightings continued, always beyond perimeter, always when I was alone. She never attacked. She never threatened. Instead, she seemed to watch me, study me, and sometimes when the wind was still and the storm silent, she spoke into my mind. "You are different," she told me once. "You carry sorrow. You carry war. But you also carry hope." Her presence terrified me at first. The others weren't supposed to be here. If the colony found out, panic would erupt. And yet, I kept her secret. Something about the way she spoke, curious, vulnerable even, made me hesitate. One night, against all reason, I went further into the storm than regulations allowed. I found her waiting among the jagged black rocks. This time, she did not vanish. "My name is Leora," she said aloud, though her voice still resonated in my head. Her accent was strange, almost melodic, but understandable. "Why are you here?" I demanded. "Your kind nearly destroyed mine." Her golden eyes flickered with something like sadness. War is the language of frightened leaders, not of people. "I am not here a soldier. I am here because—" She hesitated, as if the words were heavy. "Because I was searching for you." I laughed bitterly. "You don't even know me." Her gaze was steady. "I know enough. You were in the Orion campaign. You fought at Nearest 4. You lost too much." The memory struck me like a blade. My unit burned alive in their transports. My brother gone to fire. I had never told anyone in the colony about Nearest 4. How could she know? "Why me?" I whispered, and then she said the words that would change everything. "I wanted you to be my mate because—" The storm howled around us, and for a heartbeat the world seemed to stop. Because if our people are ever to survive, someone must bridge the abyss. I chose you. I should have run. I should have reported her, called in the militia, ended it before it began. But instead, I stood there trembling, unable to move. Her words lodged in my chest like an ember refusing to die. Over the following weeks, our meetings grew longer. She told me fragments about her people, how they had splintered after the war, how some factions still wanted conflict, but others sought peace, even kinship. She was of the latter. "You are the first human I have touched minds with," she confessed. "And the first I have felt drawn to." I didn't want to believe it. And yet, when she smiled, when her strange, luminous hand brushed mine to the thin membrane of my suit, I felt warm for the first time in years. But nothing in Kepler 442b stayed hidden for long. It happened during a supply run. I was returned to the colony when alarms blared across the comm sensors had picked up an alien presence. Patrols scrambled. Guns were readied. And through the storm, I saw them. 3 of Leora's kind, warriors armored in gleaming chitin, hunting. They weren't like her. Their minds were hard, cold, brutal, and they were tracking her. I found her cornered against a ridge of black stone. Her glow was dimmer, her breath ragged. The warriors circled, their weapons crackling with blue fire. "Go!" she whispered in my mind. "They will kill you if you stay." But something inside me refused. I had lost too much already. My brother, my comrades, my future. I would not lose her too. I grabbed the plasma cutter from my pack and charged. The fight was chaos. One warrior lunged, and I barely managed to slash through its weapon with the cutter. Another struck me, sending me sprawling across the rocks. Leora screamed, not in sound, but in my skull, a cry of fear and rage. She unleashed a wave of light that staggered them, buying me a moment. Together we fought, not soldier and alien, but 2 desperate souls clinging to survival. And when the dust cleared, the warriors lay broken, scattered across the ridge. We were alive, but the colony had seen everything. Ending. They brought me in for questioning, of course. Demanded to know why I hadn't reported her, why I had fought beside her instead of against her. The governor called me a traitor. The militia wanted me executed. But then Leora appeared, not in secret this time, but openly, stepping into Colony Square with her glow casting long shadows. She raised her hands, unarmed, and spoke so all could hear. "I did not come to conquer. I did not come to kill. I came because your world and mine cannot survive another war. I came because..." Her golden eyes found mine across the crowd. "Because I chose him. And if he chooses me, then perhaps others can choose peace." The colony erupted in shouts, fear, outrage, disbelief. But among the noise, I felt clarity. I stepped forward, placing my hand in hers. "This war has taken enough from both of us," I said. "If we can stand together, maybe it ends here." For a long, tense moment, silence hung heavy. Then one of the old soldiers, scarred, weary like me, nodded. "Maybe the kid's right. Maybe it's time." The tide began to shift. Slowly, reluctantly, the colony allowed her presence. Negotiations followed. Messages were sent through the void. And for the first time since the war, humans and others spoke not as enemies, but as people. Months later, I stood on the ridge where I had first met her. The storm raged as always, but it no longer felt empty. Leora stood beside me, her luminous hair drifting in the wind. "Do you regret it?" she asked softly. I shook my head. "Not for a second." She smiled, and in that moment, I realized the truth. The universe hadn't ended when she chose me. Something far greater had begun. And maybe, just maybe, the abyss between stars could finally be bridged by love